Hey, everybody. I hope you're doing really well. It's your main man, Anil, coming live once again for Immunity for the Community podcast. How's everybody doing on this fine Saturday? The sun is out, summer's here, and it's looking great. And I got my t shirt too. And as promised, today's episode is going to be on the nutrition side of the Write Your Own Story course. I'm going to be walking you through two very simple and easy to follow recipes that you can start using to help you on your weight loss journey, to help you to now start slowly shifting those pounds. If you're at that point where you want to eat nice food, but you're just not sure, maybe you're trying recipes that you want to that you want tasty food from, but it's just not tasting good, or you feel like you're denying yourself. These are two simple recipes that are not that hard to follow, and you will be able to use these and more on the Right On Story course to help you to get to your weight loss goals, to help you to maintain your fitness levels, achieve your fitness goals, and not gain any weight. So let's start right away. The first recipe I'm going to walk you through, and I've talked about this a few times in my previous podcasts, is veggie mince, or as we would say in the Punjabi culture, veggie gimma. Yes. So I've been having veggie gimma as part of my diet on the Right Your Own Story course for quite some time. I've experimented with different proteins. I've experimented with veggie sausages, veggie chicken style pieces. I've experimented with many brands in the supermarkets to try and find the best protein as a vegetarian for my supplement, but it just wasn't working. It wasn't helping my nutrition. I was holding weight on. I wasn't actually getting the strength from the food and then being able to use it up and then lose the weight and maintain my fitness levels and energy levels. So I'm going to walk you through one recipe of how you can turn this beyond mince into veggie gimma. So let's go. So veggie gimma. So first of all, I want you to turn on the gas cooker. I want you to put the pan on there, and I want you to put one dash of olive oil in there. One dash, and it could just be this much in the pan. And I want you to heat up the pan at medium temperature, medium heat for about 5 minutes. In that same time, you now have your chopping board, and I want you to start cutting up your onions and dice your onions up. Once you dice those onions up, put them in the pan, and then you'll start to see them sizzle. Then get your pestle and mortar and get five small black pepper pieces, put it in the pestle and mortar, grind them up, bash them, throw them in there as well. What that's doing is you're starting the torka. This is what we call in Punjabi the torka, or the saute. So the saute is the base of what gives it the flavor. Once it's in the pan, you keep your onions, your olive oil, and your black pepper all together, and you let them marinate, and they will caramelize. Those onions will now caramelize very nicely. Next, I want you to get 1 can of chopped tomatoes, open it, put it in a food container. And of this can that you can see, which is chopped tomatoes, it's usually about 400 grams for a can. So what I want you to do is use half of that can, 200 grams, because you're going to need it for a whole pack of veggie mince, right? So I want you to put it in there, and I want you to really dice up and really get through to the tomatoes so it becomes a nice fine puree. No lumps in it, no nothing like that. Just really go tuck 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 with your with your spatula. Really go in, right? Flatten it out and make sure that the tomato is a fine puree. Once the tomato is a fine puree, I want you to then add 1 spoon of tandoori masala, half a spoon of turmeric powder, and then as well, I want you to add a small dash of salt, and then lastly, also add some onion seeds. Yep. So you do that. Cumin seeds, actually, cumin seeds, right? Add some cumin seeds. That'll look really nice now. So I start letting that all come together in the pan. I want you to let that take its time to slowly simmer up. I want you to let that flavor really sink in. So put the pan on the lid now for about 5 minutes. Let the flavor sink in from the sauce. So now you've got the full base. You've got the tomatoes, you've got the onions, you've got the black pepper, you've got the cumin seeds, and you got the tandoori masala and the turmeric powder, which is another masala, right? 1 spoon of tandoori powder, half a spoon of turmeric powder. Then Once that's done, I then want you to open up this pack and put it in the pan. So once you put it in that pan, you can then start to let it simmer and marinate into the veggie protein. And what that's going to do is the flavor that's coming from the sauce is now going to go right into it and really make it taste good. By the end of it, it's going to taste amazing. It's going to be great. So let that simmer up now let that marinate for about 10 minutes. And you'll start to see that this Beyond Mince is now actually going to start opening up. It's going to start actually cooking more. So it's going to go from that texture that you see where it's uncooked to where it's going to start to cook, and it's going to start to look a lot like gimma. Of course, this is veggie gimma, ladies and gentlemen, so it's a recipe that I have, and it's what I eat mostly on my diet. So once it starts to do that, I want you to really cut it up. Use your spatula to really split it up, really flatten it out, and then the flavor will start to go right into the Beyond Mince. It will really start to go into the veggie protein. It will really start to see it marinate in the veggie mince. Once that's done, I want you to then get one handful of frozen peas and put that in the pan. And now you have what we call veggie gimma mutter, as we call it in Punjabi culture, gimma mutter. But this is the vegetarian version. Let that now marinate for 5 more minutes, and hey presto, it should look something like this. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the final product, and that looks great, right? Now, that's one example, that's one recipe that I got. A second recipe that I got is very simple. This is your veggies for your main meal at the end of the day for your dinner. So all you do is you get your chopping board, you get one floret of broccoli, you cut off approximately 150 grams, which is about a third of a broccoli floret, which is anywhere between 350 to 400 grams, right? You wash it in your sink and you get it on the board and you chop them up into mini florets. Boil the kettle for 5 minutes, you have enough. Put all those florets in the pan, boil the pan, boil the broccoli, right, for 5 minutes, and here you go. Broccoli. See that? Here you go. And that only takes 5 minutes. So those are two very easy and simple to follow recipes on the Write Your Own Story course. Now, if you're at a point where you want to eat good food, you're tired of having a very restricted diet, and you're looking for those recipes, this is something that I can offer on the Write Your Own Story course. What we believe here is that variety is a spice of life. A lot of the time, you go off track on your weight loss goals and your diet purely because you don't have that variety of having something different. This veggie mince that I walked you through, you can have that with pita breads. You can have that in sandwiches. You can have that with pasta. You can have that with quinoa. It's a very adaptable protein. It's a very good protein that can be used in any kind of dish, even with rice. Okay. And if you have components of the meal like that, you have elements of the meal like that alongside healthier elements of the meal like the broccoli, you'll start to see your results come through. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you really enjoyed this podcast. This is two recipes that you can follow right now in the Write Your Own Story course. If you're ready now to take that step of courage and to go after your weight loss goals, DM me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all my Facebook, Instagram, YouTube followers, hashtag we cooking. Ladies and gentlemen, drop the comment here. We cooking. We cooking over here, Immunity for the Community. We cooking. DM me over there and we can walk you through on a free consultation the Write Your Own Story course and how you can now go towards your weight loss goals. We're halfway through the year. Guys, stay on track. Guys, I hope you really enjoyed this. I hope this has been of great value. As I would say, everybody, channel you in a Rocky. Have an amazing weekend. Let's go.